Welcome, delicious friend. Our fair fallen London may be a city of 1,000 stories, but I realise I have neglected to speak of the characters in these stories in great detail. This I aim to rectify. So get comfortable as I tell you of the faces of fallen London. Today, delicious friend, I wish to discuss with you I cannot say friend of mine, but certainly someone whom I have had friendly interactions with. I have mentioned them before in our discussions. They are a master of the bazaar, Mr. Pages to be precise. Whilst the majority of the masters are eldritch and unknowable to us humans, their motives and schemes seem incomprehensible to the rationally and even irrationally minded denizens of our fair city. Mr. Pages seems somewhat different when compared to their, we shall say, kin for the sake of brevity. They seem to be, perhaps a little more human, or at least they try to be when compared to the likes of Mr. Vales or Mr. Stones. My theory is that, as he is the master whose purview is the written word, he has had the most exposure to human culture through the literary arts. This could perhaps go some way to explain his unique vocabulary, as whilst the vocabulary shown in literature often makes for interesting reading, it is rarely accurate to how we speak in our daily lives. Now, of course, any rumours you may have heard that Mr. Pages contributes to the literary world of London with enthusiastic but amateurish love poetry under a feminine pseudonym are completely unsubstantiated, if you understand my meaning. Before you assume I am blinded by Mr. Page's attempts to be more human and their general approximate friendliness towards myself and others loyal to the masters and the bazaar, that doesn't make me blind to the more questionable aspects of their policies and actions. I, like many other creatives, have had to deal with those fine gentlemen from the Ministry of Public Decency more than I would perhaps like, and censorship only gives credence to vile dogs like the revolutionaries. Let them speak and their plans and ideas are soon exposed as the delusional lunacy anybody rational and sane knows that they are. Stifle them and suddenly people want to know what ideas are so dangerous they are being kept hidden. Furthermore, it's true that none of the masters have clean, I suppose you can call them hands, and whilst it may have less blood on its than, say, Mr. Vales, Mr. Pages is no saint. Many a writer, dandy, or forlorn lover have died due to its will. It is responsible for the death of an author I greatly admired, a certain epigrammatic Irishman, gone too soon from this world. Yet despite this and other actions of questionable morality, I find it hard to despise Mr. Pages in the same way I despise many other figures of infamy down here. Perhaps it is misguided loyalty, perhaps it is Mr. Pages' willingness to compromise in certain situations, and its general agreeability and politeness, or perhaps it's because it makes such a good neighbour. Do you know of the marvellous, delicious friend? It is a card game where one can win one's heart's desire, but the wagers are high and can lead to great sorrow, madness, misery, pain, and death for those who lose the game. Many figures in the city have played it, many I assume you have had dealings with, but the one I found most surprising in my investigations into the game was Mr. Pages himself.
Acceptious, you have my gratitude. We will be the friendliest of opponents, I am sure. A little good-natured competition can be very intimifactory, don't you think? Only two matters remain, the cards and the venue. Unfortunately, neither is straightforward.
I don't know what their heart's desire could be, nor do I know what their wager is, but perhaps someday I shall find out. After all, even I have some ambition left in me. My heart's desire? Oh, come now, my friend, you know I can't answer that. And besides, today's discussion is not about me. I am a mere archivist. I have no greater plans in this city than documenting its history and people. I would expect you not to engage in idle rumour and speculation on my part. After all, have I not always been honest with you in our dealings? No, my friend, I shan't say another word on this matter. I apologise if I came across a touch angered, shall we say, delicious friend. I still have the utmost faith in you, of course, but I believe we must part at this juncture for now, as there is only so much I can say without the goodwill I have built with the Masters expiring, shall we say. I hope I have given you some insight, however, into one of the great power players of the city, though do be careful with what I have told you. They say the pen is mightier than the sword, and I feel that applies doubly so down here.